Hello everybody, Jason of WWF Revolution Cave, and it's Saturday. So we're going to do a power hour today, folks. And I'm just pulling up the questions on the old intranet. We're going to do a power hour because I want to, and because I don't think I have the... Oh, yes, I do. Phew. Oh, no, I don't. Yes, I do. I was going to say, I don't think I have the questions. Do I have the questions over here? No. Okay. All right. Yes, it's Power Hour. Hello, everybody. It's Power Hour. It's Saturday. I've made the mistake of shaving. I've just shaved a new look into my face. Sometimes I do this. Sometimes I just get bored. If you go back through the channel, there's multiple looks of the New 80s Revolution. Multiple. I just get bored. It's Saturday. It's the day before my favorite day of the week. There's yet another sleepover going on in the house tonight, so my usual Saturday night routine is going to be interrupted greatly by children. I've also decided to do a little bit of... I think I want a CRT down here, and I need to hook up a DVD player. I could easily hook up a DVD player to the Zenith System 3. Should I? I also want to play Sega John. I don't have any room for a CRT, but I feel like this room down here needs to be my, I need to come down here when the house is just being overloaded. And it's being overloaded, especially when both kids are on both PlayStations and they're playing Fortnite. They kind of eat up the internet or the Wi-Fi or whatever. I don't know. So then if I go upstairs in their mother's bedroom and I try to watch TV, which is now our third and only television, our last television, as soon as I turn it on, one of the kids gets kicked off their game and then they're mad at me. So I got to be able to come down here and... yeah, I got a ton of VHS, but I'm in the middle of like Twilight Zone. I want to lay down here and watch like 5 episodes of Twilight Zone, but I don't have a DVD player hooked up to a TV down here. And there's multiple things hooked up to the Zenith, so I don't want to do that because then there's too much stuff on the top. I've got the Zenith Space Command that I really can't hook a DVD player up to. It makes no sense. So I kind of wanted the CRT down here. So I could get rid of the Space Command. I don't know. I don't have any room for a CRT. Which leads me to my own Power Hour question. Because tomorrow is Sunday when we usually do a Power Hour. Tomorrow I'm going to pull down the Ghostbusters, the Kenner's Real Ghostbusters toy line. And we're just going to do an extended look at that line. Doesn't mean a lot to me. Doesn't mean much of anything to me, actually. And I had like some weird thought in my head. And I'll talk to you about it now and get your opinions on it. Ever since I brought the couch down here and made the living room set, I've become more and more interested in, the furnishings down here and just having comfort down here. And, there's no more space down here for anything. And some of the stuff that I have is nice, but it doesn't really mean a lot to me. The Rambo figures don't really mean a lot to me. The Ghostbusters, that's an entire bookshelf over there. That's one whole shelf of Ghostbusters stuff. Doesn't really mean that much to me. Don't worry, I'm not doing anything, but part of me thinks like, all right, look, you're going to be, 50 in a couple of years. Are you getting the max benefit out of this room? Yes, I am now with the couch. And if I can just add the television, add a DVD player and another television, then I think I'd get the max benefit out of this room. But for a moment, part of me was thinking about, again, downgrading some of the stuff that, doesn't mean a whole lot to me and making room for, you know, like another living room set or another video gaming area, you know, put the CRT on a stand, set up a little chair. That's where I play Sega Genesis, Super Nintendo, whatever, and watch DVDs. But I don't think I want to. I don't think I want to. I almost feel like, you know, having more room for more 80s stuff, you know, the electronics and the kitchen products and that kind of deal, and shrinking the toys down. I don't know, you know, because, but what am I gonna get for the Ghostbusters stuff? You know, $400 or $500 for the whole. And then will I regret it? Probably not. But, you know, I'd never get rid of any of the wrestling stuff. And I'm never going to get rid of the G.I. Joe stuff. But I never actually had real Ghostbusters, and I never actually had Rambo figures. So, what? You know, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? You know, and then I thought maybe, well, look, you know, there's still a lot of wrestling stuff that you need. You know, a lot of wrestling stuff. You know, you could, you know, finish the higher priced AWA figures. You know, there's the AWA belt that you still want, the toy belt. You know, there's the Hulk Hogan workout set, you know, and so that's more me. That's more of what I love. I don't love the real Ghostbusters. I don't love the Rambo stuff. I just have it because I just decided to pick a line and collect it. But what do I do? You know, do I keep it or do I make more room down here? And is that like ending the collection? Is that ending who I am? No, I don't think so. I mean, I could keep like the first 4 Ghostbusters and like Slimer and the Stay Puft and just keep those and hang them out and put them on a shelf. You know, maybe keep Rambo, just one Rambo figure, put that on. I don't know. I don't need all the Rambo stuff. I don't need the Jeep. I don't need the vehicle, you know. So it's such a conundrum, as they say. So give me your thoughts on that. Give me your thoughts on downsizing to upgrade the experience down here, right? I would even like, I don't know. Let's get to the Power Hour where you ask the questions. How do you ask the questions? Well, you email me, jasonnup76@gmail.com. That's one email address. The other one is TN80rquestions@gmail.com. If you send them through the Facebook Messenger, sometimes they get lost, but you can send them through the Facebook Messenger, you know, Jason Nupp on Facebook. Just email them. All right, let's go. My man, Matt B in the house. Matt B says, he's got a bunch of questions. Who do you think was the worst WWF heavyweight champion during your time of watching wrestling? Well, I started in 84. So we got Hogan. We got Andre for 20 seconds. We got DiBiase. We got Savage. We got Hogan again. And then who'd Hogan lose it to the last time? Who did Hogan lose it to after WrestleMania 5? Oh, Warrior. And then Slaughter. Okay, well, there you go. There's your answer. Sergeant Slaughter. That was my period of watching wrestling. And then who beat Slaughter? Did Hogan beat Slaughter? Wait, it was Hogan lost it to Warrior. Did Warrior lose it to Slaughter? And then Hogan beat Slaughter at WrestleMania 7? I don't know. I can't remember. That's weird. I think Sergeant Slaughter was probably the worst. If I just map it out that way, because everybody else makes sense. DiBiase, even for a little while, makes sense. Giving it to Andre for 20 seconds, I think, is cool. Honestly, I think it's the only way Andre, you know, gets a thank you, I guess. Iron Sheik was fine. Savage made sense at the time. Warrior, you know, you got to think back. Like, are we criticizing that because it's Warrior that we know today, or were we all about it as kids? Did it make the most sense as kids? I think Sergeant Slaughter didn't make a lot of sense. I mean, he was, but then again, okay, so it makes sense. But I'm going to say worst champion. Again, another thank you, right? A thank you. Maybe it's Vince's payback to Slaughter for, you know, making life miserable during the G.I. Joe run, maybe, when, you know, Slaughter left in '84. But it just wasn't believable, you know. It wasn't a good champion. So yeah, I'll go with Slaughter. I'll go with Slaughter over Warrior, because I probably think as I start to watch, you know, eventually as I start to watch up to that era, I think it'll make sense to me that Slaughter, or that Warrior has it. And again, it makes sense that Slaughter has it. Again, as you know, Vince giving back to guys that did, you know, time for him, like Andre, Slaughter, Backlund even. Remember when Backlund got it for a minute? I like that. I like, hey, you know, let me pay you back for a little bit of what you gave to us. But I just didn't like Slaughter. It makes sense as you know, this evil Iraqi sympathizer at the time, you know, that we were at war. It's almost like you know, a Bin Laden sympathizer, you know. Or what was that guy? Remember Mohammed? What was his name? Remember there was a Mohammed something. I forget. Mark Capone, you know, played a character during the Bin Laden period that, like, didn't work. And he got written off TV and then gone from the WWF. Muhammad Hassan, I think. Anyway, yeah, so I'll say Slaughter. What is the worst indie horror movie you've ever seen? Oh, boy, that's a loaded question. Well, I don't watch so indie horror. I do watch indie horror. That's not true. I don't know, is Blumhouse indie? You know, I like the Shudder originals. Some of those are good. Some of them are not good. But indie horror, like, you know, like fan films and stuff, I wouldn't watch. You know, there was, you know, I had a friend on the channel once who was a filmmaker, and, you know, that stuff was not watchable, the low budget stuff. I don't like that. I don't like, you know, a dude and his friends making a movie. That I think, you know, I think it's like a high school project, you know, so, but I haven't seen, you know, I don't watch a lot of, there was a movie that I can't remember the name. A man, Stephen Brown, knows. He talked about it. It was just a dreadful, Dash Cam. There you go. There's your answer. I don't want to throw anybody else under the bus. Dash Cam was a terrible movie. Great concept. I think it could have been so much better, but it had it had the most unappealing human being as the lead in that movie, Dash Cam. Some woman who was unbelievably deplorable. And, you know, yeah, she's acting, but she's unwatchable. So Dash Cam is unwatchable because of the actress. Growing up, what was your one favorite cartoon that you could never miss? I've talked about favorite cartoons so many times, you know, top 5 this, or, you know, top 3 that. Was there one that I could never miss, though? I mean, for a little while, it was Hulk Hogan's Rock and Wrestling, just because. Yeah, I don't think there was, you know, I mean, I watched G.I. Joe, but not faithfully, you know, not like zoned in every episode. I didn't watch Real Ghostbusters. I didn't watch Super Friends or anything like that. You know, I was like the Scooby-Doo guy, you know. You know, some of the after-school cartoons, you know, DuckTales. I don't think there was, honestly, I don't think there was one that I was just so married to. You know, I think that they all had a place in my life. I don't think there was one that was just over the top for me, that I couldn't miss it. I would like to say G.I. Joe. I really, you know, some of my friends in that period of time, you know, were so G.I. Joe minded. And, you know, these are probably kids that actually went off to the military as they got older. They were just so into, you know, G.I. Joe. But I didn't have to, you know, probably Hulk Hogan's Rock and Wrestling, right? Probably. What was your favorite breakfast cereal? Good question. Again, I didn't have a favorite because I was so open to trying new cereals. So my favorite was the new cereal. There wasn't a cereal that I had to have every time my mom went grocery shopping, because stuff came out so much and it was so advertised and it was so connected to a cartoon or connected to toys that, you know, even if it was just puffs of corn that tasted like every other puffs of corn cereal, you had to have it, you know. So, you know, I would eat them all. I think some go-to favorites back then were it was Cinnamon Toast Crunch, because that was so tasty. That was Frosted Flakes were really simple and they were good. That was a go-to cereal. But then it was whatever was Fruit Loops and Apple Jacks are fantastic. I almost feel like Frosted Flakes, Cinnamon Toast Crunch, Fruit Loops, and Apple Jacks were just always in the house. You know, we're talking at a period of time when your mom's got 8 or 10 boxes of cereal at the house, you know, up on top of the fridge. We've talked about that, where they belong. So you know, those were always there. And then whatever else came through was just new product, you know, Pac-Man cereal, Mr. T cereal, Mario cereal, you know, whatever. I always liked the things with nuts too. So like, you know, like Nut and Honey was good. You know, I liked nuts in my cereal. I was a big nut guy back then. So I would, you know, I liked that stuff. If you could change, well, let's hang on a second. Let's get to some of the funner ones. What was your favorite video store as a kid to rent movies from? I mean, it was just a toss-up between your standard Blockbuster and then, you know, whatever mom and pop was around the way. You know, a Wegmans video rental was big. I've told that before. My grandma worked there. And so I would, you know, I'd have access to stuff because she worked there. That's how I played the WWF WrestleMania game, was that she finally was able to get it in stock in the video store after some kid kept it for like 18 days over the limit. And they had new releases and catalog titles, but you know, Blockbuster was my dad's place where we'd go on our visits with him. And then, you know, the mom and pops seemed to have more of the Coliseum videos and more of the, you know, pushing the horror thing. You know, Blockbuster probably doesn't have Sleepaway Camp 3, but, you know, Tony and Helen's Family Video probably has Sleepaway Camp 3, you know, so I think I got more horror from the indie shops, from the mom and pops. If you had to choose one giant movie monster, do you like better King Kong or Godzilla? Geez. You know, I never cared about monsters like that. I never cared about Godzilla. I never cared about King Kong. We've seen the newer movies. We've seen Godzilla. We've seen Kong. If I had to choose, I would go with King Kong just because he seems, you know, more of a pet. I don't know, more friendly. He's a lovable ape or whatever it is, you know. I don't know. He's got a softer side. Godzilla just seems to, I don't know. Godzilla seems more intimidating, I guess. I'd go with King Kong. What is your favorite fast food cheeseburger? Oh, man, that's going to make me cry. None of these hard-hitting questions. Just this, I can't eat it anymore, allegedly. I haven't had wheat or soy in forever, so I don't have a stupid swollen esophagus. I'm not sure if those are my allergies. I just haven't eaten them, and I feel better, so maybe. I am going to extremely risk my life at some point soon and have a sandwich at least without anything soy. McDonald's burgers have wheat and soy in the bun. So the burger has soy. The bun probably has soy. The bun definitely has wheat. So if I eat that, I won't be able to know which one I'm reacting to. So what I'm going to do is just eat like a tuna sandwich or, you know, a ham sandwich on wheat, on real bread, not wheat bread. I hate wheat bread, but white bread that has wheat in it. And I'm going to see if I react. And if I don't, I'll do it a couple more times. I'll have some pasta that's, you know, that's made of wheat, and I'll see if I'm affected by it. If I'm not, then I'll add wheat back. But soy is in all the burgers. Soy is in the McChicken sandwich. Soy is in everything. So I don't eat it anymore. I haven't had fast food since March, folks. March of 2023. I have not had fast food, and my God, do I miss it. I mean, I loved the Quarter Pounder Deluxe from McDonald's. You know, a Big Mac with extra sauce, you know, a side of sauce to dip it in is insane. Whopper with cheese is underrated. You know, that's still a fantastically massive burger that's bigger than all the others. The fish sandwich at McDonald's I miss. Wendy's, the Dave's Classics, the pretzel burgers at Wendy's. Oh, God, I miss that stuff so much. Terrible question. Terrible question. You hurt me in the heart on that one. Department stores to bring back. Well, you know, obviously so we could easily say Kitty City, KB, Toys R Us, but you know what? Are they really going to be able to fill the stores? Are they really even going to be able to fill? You know, they have all these pop-up Toys R Us's that are rumored, and they had the Macy's Toys R Us was just a waste of time. You know why they're in little corners of a store? Because they don't have anything to fill them up. You can't fill up a Toys R Us anymore. You can't fill up a gigantic warehouse Toys R Us size anymore. Now, I'm curious about what is in Canada, because Toys R Us still exist in Canada. I wonder if their toys stores are filled and what's in them. You know, the only action, I mean, how do you fill up a Toys R Us nowadays? I don't know. You know, how do you even have enough to fill up? So I think I would go with, you know, a store that's kind of near and dear to my heart is a local East Coast store, you know, Upper East Coast, you know, upstate New York, Pennsylvania, called Gold Circle. Do I have a Gold Circle bag? No, I don't. You know, for nostalgia's sake, I miss Kmart, but you know, Gold Circle. Yeah, that's, you know, we had a store called Hills. I mean, they're all Walmart clones, basically. You know, we had Hills, we had Ames, we had Zehrs, we had Gold Circle, we had Keldors, and those are all just Walmarts. You know, some nicer than a Walmart, some less nice than a Walmart, like Kmart. But, you know, they're all, you know, Hills and Keldor is basically Target's little cousin. You know, so yeah, I miss Gold Circle. Yeah, I miss the toy stores, but can they fill a toy store? How do you fill a toy store when your toy aisles at Walmart and Target are, you know, picked over and small? You know, how do you? Yeah, there's you know, you at certain times of the year you have full aisles, but that's in a fraction of the warehouse size that a Toys R Us was. You could fit every single action figure that's in maybe 2 aisles at Walmart or 1 long aisle, you could fit that in a half an aisle of an old Toys R Us, you know. So what are you going to have there? What are you going to, you can't have a toy store just on Marvel action figures, you know. That's all in you know, I don't know. So I think it'd be depressing. All right, so he says, what was your worst regret in high school? Music. Not getting into music. Not being a musician. I think that's one of my worst regrets, period. I used to think, you know, playing organized sports, but whatever, you know, that ends. But music never ends. It never ends. You know, had I been playing guitar since I was 8, had I been a drummer since I was 8, had I been, more importantly, the most important, the piano, had I been playing piano at 8, I just wish that my mother had been like, you're taking piano lessons. No, Mom, I don't want to. You're going to, or you're not playing with your wrestling figures. I hate piano. And then I become a pianist. Right? And then I play piano, and I still have the talent today. Or why can't you play multiple instruments? Play piano and guitar. I mean, music, 100%. You know, if you got little kids, you know, force them into playing music against their will. Make them cry, you know, but, you know, get them to play, because, you know, even my kids today, even Finley, you know, he's a drummer, and he bangs away on a guitar, but he doesn't want to take like formal lessons. And I'm like, dude, just get some, like, he plays guitar, but he doesn't actually know, you know, he moves his fingers on the chords, and he's figured out a way to make his own music, right? But he's not actually playing a chord. He's playing his own chords, I guess. It's working, but I want him to, anyway. Yeah, my biggest regret is not playing music. All right, his last one, and it's the heaviest. If you could change one thing in your life, what would it be and why? I mean, that's a huge question. Matt B, thank you very much. I mean, look, when I think about this question, because we've all pondered this question, we've all thought about what we would change in our life, I have to be careful, because if I've said this before, my kids are they're my life, they're my existence. My children are my reason. And, you know, the butterfly effect says, you know, you can alter the course of your life by, you know, waking up 5 minutes later than you were originally woke up. So I be careful with it, because if I make too many changes, or any change, I might not have the kids that I have. So, you know, I could easily say that I would, you know, have possibly, made some changes in my relationship choice, if you know what I mean. But if I do that, my little nerds aren't here, so I can't say that. All right, so let's play it easier than that. Investments, 100% investments. Look, we can become millionaires in our 40s if we invest in our 20s. If we just started, you know, putting money away. Look, $10,000 a year for 20 years at, you know, 9% interest is $500,000. $500,000. You know, so, you know, what if we all just invested correctly? What if we all just saved? So I wish that I had saved more, because now I'm scrambling to save, and I've got to come on, you know, I've got to develop this 20-year plan that isn't going to make me a millionaire in retirement, but, you know, it'll be like, that's my survival money. But I have to start it now, because you always have a reason not to save money when you're younger. And even with a decent salary that I have, it's still hard to save substantial money. So, my goal is to save $10,000 a year, from age 50 to 70, and barring any massive collapse and a fairly standard 9% interest, I'll have $500,000. But that would have been cool right now. It'd be cool to have $500,000 right now, in savings. That'd be cool, because then you go 10 more years and now you're at you're probably closer to $1 million, or at $1 million. Of course you're at $1 million. If you start with $500,000 and you go 10 more years, you're going to have over $1 million, $2 million with 9%. So that would have been cool. I'm self-employed, and my job makes me just sit in an office, and so I can do it later. I don't have to worry about, my back breaking or anything like that. But it would have been nice to be approaching 50 and going, you got $1 million, you could stop working if you want. You could retire, or you could work part-time. I kind of work part-time now. You could do less, be home more. That'd be cool. So I think, investing would have been an easy answer for me, because I don't like to make any other massive changes, because then I wouldn't have my guys, right? I'd have other kids, I suppose, but they wouldn't be my guys. That's how I think. I don't know. So invest early in your life, and make your kids play musical instruments when they're young. Life advice from the New Age Revolution. All right, that's it. That's Power Hour. Thanks for hanging out with me. Tomorrow we're going to look at the... So think about what I said early in the beginning about the collection. Is this more valuable than, the CRT in the corner with a nice Lazy Boy or something, the Sega Genesis hooked up, the DVD player? Is that quality of life, or is looking at this stuff quality of life, right? I don't know. Give me your thoughts. All right, I'm very nasally, aren't I? Yeah, this is what I sound like when I have a cold. All right, we'll see y'all next time. Good night now.